It's 6 a.m. in Los Angeles. It's 8 a.m. in Chicago. And it's 9 a.m. in New York City. Hello, everybody. I'm Mad Dog Scipio. This is America's Best Podcast. What's the Buzz? We are on the BRS Radio Network, global and always live. This morning, an inspirational music journey. And I'm going to get right into it. I want to introduce my guest to you. He is an amazing guy I met in Wildwood, New Jersey. His name is Doug Kaetz. I thought his name was Doug Katz.
That's me.
Great show. We'll call it Cats and Dogs. Can you hear me, Doug?
I can hear you. It's coming in a little choppy.
Okay.
Sorry.
No, that's quite all right. How are we now? We're okay? Are we okay? We're having a little issue here. Go figure. Go figure. We're having a technical issue. If it's live, it's going to happen for sure. I'm going to make sure that we can hear each other. Doug, can we hear each other? Can we hear each other, Doug? Oh Lord.
I can't really hear. Sorry, I can't really hear you.
Okay. Well, let me just check something out here. We'll make sure you can. Let's just check it out here. And we were fine just a moment ago, too. Check 1, 2. No, well, we're good here.
Yeah, we were good before, but now it's
yeah.
Sorry about that.
No problem. No problem. I'll tell you what. Why don't you pop out and pop back in?
Hop out and hop back in?
Yep. We're having a little technical. We were fine just a moment ago. But would you know it? This is live, and this is what happens when you go live. I don't understand. It's one of those things. It's Murphy's Law. If it can go wrong, it usually will, and always when you're live, for sure. Okay, let's try this now.
I came back.
There we go. We're good? We're good now, Doug? Doug, are we good here? Oh, good Lord. Oh, man. Hold on. I can't believe this. This is just Doug, can we hear each other? We can't hear each other.
No, I can't really hear you.
Okay, hold on a second. Hold on. Okay, how about this? Are we all right now? Hold on a second, Doug. Hold on just a second.
Yes, still pretty choppy. Do you think I should go out? I can go outside if you want. Get better signal.
You're fine. Okay, how about now? Are we all right now?
Yeah.
We're good now? Terrific. All right, terrific.
It's better, but it's not perfect.
I would love to know what the heck is going on here. Got it. Let me check my microphone. I'll check my mic for just a second, folks. Hold on. We'll figure this out.
You're coming in a lot clearer now, for sure.
Okay, we're good now?
Yeah.
Okay.
I got my fingers crossed.
Yeah, I don't know what the hell that was all about. But you know, it's funny though. When you when you go live, it's if it's going to happen when you go live.
Yeah,
for sure.
I agree. Yeah.
Let me tell everybody about Doug Kaetz. Doug Kaetz is an interesting guy. I met him in Wildwood, New Jersey, and he has an interesting musical story to tell. He didn't start out this way. He was a school teacher. Doug, why don't you tell everybody how being a school teacher led you to pursue your dream of music?
Well, so I started teaching at an early age, 16, and I was a ski instructor at Camelback up here in the Poconos in Pennsylvania. And I don't know, I really got into working with the kids. They just say some of the literally the darnest things, like they just, I don't know where they get it from, but it also keeps you kind of humble in a way. Because the world out there is not that nice, but then like working with kids, like it's just like such a joy. So anyways, I took that experience and I taught skiing for like 13, 14 years. But then, this was like kind of like my first job and I kind of hung on to it, teaching skiing. Then I went to school for music and I went for music education. And I had a real knack for like explaining skill-based, like especially like teaching guitar or teaching drums, because teaching skiing was also very skill-based and a lot of explanation. And then I went to Moravian College in Bethlehem. So not just the skill base, but then you got to be able to explain the theory and the history. And so that's was a challenge. But so after college, I taught at a recording studio for a little bit and then also started gigging very lightly, though. And then in 2016, I was a school teacher in Philadelphia. And talk about
God bless you.
trial by fire.
Yes, sir.
It was funny because like I went, on the job applications and I'm like, wow, they're really hiring a lot. Like, this is awesome. And I didn't realize why, because it's kind of like you get in and you get out and because you have your experience, you're like, yes, I taught inner city, and then you go somewhere else. But,
you need combat pay when you're a Philadelphia school teacher. I'll tell you what, brother, I taught high school for a short time.
Yeah.
There's not enough money in the world to get me to do that as a full-time gig. And God bless. I will say this, and I mean this from the bottom of my heart. God bless our school teachers, because it takes a special kind of crazy to deal with these kids. It really does.
I mean, I have a lot of friends and a lot of professional working relationships, and they're all teachers, and like, I really admire what they do. And I mean, I did it for 2 years. I had a lot of support from my fellow teachers in the school, no matter how bad it got. Right. And I mean, I ended up quitting because like it just got way too much, way too hard. Also, sure. Music as a subject is a difficult one to kind of push, because a lot of it is focused on standardized testing and, math reading and everything else. So music's kind of like, it's the extra subject. And I'm like, well, it's not really extra. It's actually a very valuable subject to be a part of your life, for everyone.
Well, let's talk about that. There has been, I guess, in the last 10 to 15 years or so, probably 15 years that I've noticed it now, where music is not only being defunded by school districts, a lot of school districts across the nation are removing the arts from their curriculum. Yeah. They find that it's, to use the word, unnecessary or not redeemable, whatever the hell they mean, not redeemable. I don't think there's anything more redeemable than teaching someone music.
Well, I could tell you that a lot of stuff that I learned non-music in school was definitely not necessary to learn in real life.
Well, no, you're absolutely right. How many people have a need for calculus in the daily workforce?
I mean, it's definitely not in music.
No, for sure.
But like, I don't know. I remember someone told me, so there was a science class. It was called Field Environmental, and we would learn about the different tree species and the bird species of Pennsylvania, amphibians. And I thought that was really cool because it kind of
Sure.
like, it's like, oh, I can point out, a red oak or, a chestnut, they turned it into a recycling class about recycling and reusable and all this stuff. And I'm like, that's really freaking boring.
I
Like,
can imagine it would be. The journey into music full time could not have been an easy one, particularly in a market that's flooded with solo guitar players. I mean, everybody and his brother has a guitar.
yeah,
I have two of them
right.
that I don't play. So let's get into how do you transition from for lack of a better word, the secular workforce into full-time musician? That could not have been easy. Unless, of course, you had an inside, source.
No. It's definitely it's a lot of trial and error, and it's like, what do they say? Like, every chance you don't take is a chance missed or whatever. So,
Absolutely,
I
yeah.
mean, also my mom always said, what's the worst they're going to say is no. So I started out in my local area, and then I started getting hooked up with a couple booking guys, and then I really wanted to play the beach. I thought, you know what? I want to play the beach. Let's see what we can do. And I just emailed and Facebook messaged all the venues, and sooner or later, one of them was like, hey, we have an opening. Can you come and play?
Yeah.
And then another connection was I was in New Hope at a winery, and I played Jack Johnson requests for this couple. And little did I know that he was the president of a resort in Avalon, the Beachcomber. So that was my first.
God, sure.
That was my first in, and we're like great friends, been to their house, play all their parties, but that was like the start. And then once I had that on my resume, like, I play in Avalon. They're like, you play in Avalon? Well, you should play at our place. I'm like, okay. And then I just worked my way through Cape May and Wildwood, and yeah.
One of the things that I noticed on vacation this year, of course, we met at the Madison Resorts in Wildwood. Before that, however, it was called the Royal Hawaiian, and they never had music. It was very different this year. We were, of course, not used to having live entertainment at poolside. A different kind of thing. But now you're talking about every weekend, at 2 or 3 different musicians. Is it difficult for you to play at a poolside where people, quite frankly, for the most part, could give a shit whether you're there or not? You're getting paid, which is a great thing for you. But I'm going to show you a clip of exactly what I'm talking about shortly. But there were a number of people there, feeling fine. Let's put it that way.
Yeah.
Throwing back a couple of beers. Always a good thing when you're on vacay.
Yeah.
Maybe not so good if you're the guy playing the music that, you're taking this seriously, and, and you want this to be, your thing. Maybe somebody's like me. Maybe somebody like me is out there watching you or listening to you. Go ahead. So tell me how that plays into what you do.
Who, who Terry Crews is? Big muscular black guy.
I sure do. Yeah, absolutely.
So he
I love
said,
the guy. Great guy.
He said on an interview, he was in that Expendables movie with Sylvester Stallone.
Yeah.
And he was with all these greats, and he used to be actually a security guard on a film set, and then they asked him to like sit in. Anyways, so in the film, he kind of didn't have a big role, and he got a little upset. And then he kind of like looked back, and he's like, you know what? I should be grateful that I have this little role. I'm going to make the most of it. I'm going to be nice to everyone. So then he was nice to everybody. He didn't care. He had like 2 lines, 3 lines. Sylvester Stallone saw that, and he went up to him and said, hey, Everyone says you're a great guy. Like, would you like a big action sequence at the end of the movie? And it's all because he just kept a positive attitude, and then someone noticed. So I take that and I apply that to any gig, small gig, big gig. You treat them all the same because you never know who's listening. And I didn't know that you had a podcast, but I played the same. It wasn't until you came up and introduced yourself. So
pretty sizable podcast too, as a matter of fact.
Now, I'll give you an example. There's a resort in Ocean City, Maryland, and there's a strict noise volume control because they're right next to residential. So anyways, they told me that they really like working with me, and the guy previously kind of threw a fit because they kept telling him to turn it down. And he kind of threw a fit to the manager, the GM. He didn't know it was the GM. And then the GM was like, I'm the guy who hired you. And then his attitude flipped. And I'm like, dude, like, come on, just keep smiling. Even if you get annoyed, always smile. Because, you're also not representing yourself, but you're representing the venue too. Because people come and they associate you,
When the people paying you are telling you or asking, strongly suggesting that you control the decibel level, it's probably a smart idea to listen to them. If you want to go home with that paycheck, for sure.
It's like when you hire someone to paint your walls.
Yeah.
And you go to them and say, all right, we want it to be white. And then they fight with you. It's like, no, it should be a beige. It's just,
right.
It's like, all right, you're out of here.
I want to show you a video. There's actually a couple. I want to show a couple of videos tonight. Right. But one particular, I want you to take a look at this. I want people out there listening and watching to take a look at this. This is what Doug Kaetz does on a daily basis. And I admire him for this.
You can take or leave my name. You can have my heart. It's broken anyway. You can take my reputation and drag it through the mud. Go on abusing, but don't take my smoke, my jug of brown liquor, or my country music. I've got bottles and bottles stuck to the ceiling. I get stone falls on my road. It helps with the healing when it all goes to hell. The only thing I believe in is weed, whiskey and relief. I've got bottles and bones stacked to the ceiling. I get stone balls of my own. It helps with the healing when it all goes to hell. The only thing I believe in is weed, whiskey and relief.
I wanted to play that. There's the camera panned around and got the whole panoramic view of the crowd.
Yep.
There might have been one person there looking at you. Maybe. How do you deal with that when nobody's looking?
Well, that was a really good gig. And that's one of my favorite songs. That's Weed, Whiskey, and Willie by the Brothers Osborne. So that's a funny thing for me because if I'm sounding good and I'm playing good and my voice is nice and loose and the sound is good, I'm having a blast and I could care less who's listening. You know what I mean?
Well, good for you.
Because I know, and I'm also, I'm my own worst critic. So when I know it sounds good, I'm like, I'm singing full, I'm singing, I'm going for it.
Yeah.
And, again, it's the same thing. Like, you got to treat every gig, as if you're playing to 30,000 people, even if they're not looking at you. there's someone out there that's listening, and it happens all the
Oh,
time.
absolutely.
You know, no one's looking, and then out of the corner of the crowd, someone comes and they go, "You're amazing," and I'm like, "Thank you."
Yeah.
And then they throw a 20, and I'm like, "Yes, good to go."
I have a story. I wanted to show that for a reason. I have a story. I was at a wedding.
Yeah.
Where, there was an outside wedding, outdoor wedding, and of course the band was set up outside. I have to tell you, this actually happened. The band stopped playing, and the lead, whatever the leader of the band or the vocalist or whoever the hell he was,
Yeah.
said, "If you guys don't quiet down, we're going to stop playing."
At the
Now,
wedding?
At a wedding. Yes. I'm not making this up. They said, if you guys don't quiet down, we're going to stop playing. And somebody yelled out, "Then go the F home."
That's awesome.
Yeah, it happened. And I saw it myself. And they said, "Well, go the F home."
Yeah.
At which point, the band packed up their shit and went home. The rest of the wedding, Doug, I cannot make this up to you. The rest of the wedding was played through the venue's loud system outside from the radio. And it was great. It was great. Everything was piped in from the radio. But what do you do? Like, I don't know. I'm sure you've had some strange shit happen. What do you do when the unexpected like that happens? Or like the unexpected like happened to us tonight? When something goes wrong that's not supposed to go wrong, what do you do?
Well, I mean, I always try to troubleshoot. So, like, for example, if you want to talk about our connection problems, maybe it's because I'm in my little home studio. I could have taken my phone outside and getting better reception. There's always a solution.
Yeah.
But like, things have gone wrong many times on gigs, whether it's a cable is wrong or my guitar has stopped working. That's why I always bring 2 guitars. Or like we have to plug into a house system, and the house system at the venue sounds like, garbage.
Yeah.
So,
Sure.
So, I mean, I've stopped gigs and I'm like, we like 2 songs in, even with the band. And I'm like, guys, it just doesn't sound right. And I'm like, it's bothering me. And I run out to the car, I grab all my stuff, and the manager, kind of was like, well, we have our stuff. And I'm like, listen, it doesn't sound good. We're here to do a good job.
Yeah.
And then I plug all my stuff up and it sounds great. And then, then it's good. But that comes with experience. It's not really,
sure.
It's not like some people will look at it as like, oh, it's, you're very ego, like you need to use your stuff. And it's like, well, I have really nice stuff.
Yeah, for sure. You want to use it. Absolutely. Of course.
So anyways,
every musician, and I know a lot of musicians, a lot of, solo acts. I know a lot of bands because of what I do.
Yeah.
I run into musicians all the time. Every musician I know, without exception, everyone that I know has had the gig from hell.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, I have one if you want to know.
I want to know, what is your gig from hell story?
Yeah. Well, this happened this year.
So it's recent.
Yeah, it's recent. Yeah. And I have no problem talking about it because I really was like super annoyed. So anyways, I got scheduled for every Monday in Long Island on Fire Island at a venue called Flynn's. And everyone's really nice there. But the thing about I had a Monday night. So you're already kind of like, okay, well, it's mainly a weekend spot. Let's see who's there on a Monday. But you have to go from Pennsylvania through New York on the George Washington to Long Island Expressway. It's about 3.5 hours. With traffic, it gets to 4 hours. Yeah. And to get to Fire Island, you have to take a ferry. And it's not a car ferry, it's a passenger ferry. So I take all my stuff on my cart and I would bungee cord everything, and the cart would be taller than me with my guitar too. So all my speakers, my mixer, everything, and I would give it to the kids, like these college kids, and they would wheel it onto the ferry. But you also pay for parking. You would have to pay for the ferry ticket, and I would pay $10 for them to put my giant cart on the ferry. But the thing about the ferry, you have to make sure you catch the ferry, because if you catch the later ferry, then you're starting late and it looks bad. So I'd always have to get there like 5 hours early, and I'd go and I'd set up all my whole setup, everything, even my lights, and I would play to like one person, you know.
Oh my God.
But I would still do like my normal everything that works at every venue. People love what I do. Yeah. And then every night I would get a complaint from the manager, and he would say, well, the music's not right. And I'm like, what do you mean the music's not right?
Not right. Yeah, explain this to me.
Yeah. So anyway, so that got annoying. And then I had to tell my agent, and I'm like, listen, man, like I usually am playing to 1 to 5 people there. Like,
yeah,
I don't know what he's talking about.
I've never heard that one. The music isn't right. What the hell does that mean? What does that even mean? The music isn't right.
So anyways, what's funny is that I did have some really, I met some good connections out there. So it was worth it in that aspect.
Yeah.
But when he said the music wasn't right, the following gig, there was a crowd, and I played the exact same songs. And then he said, yeah, the music was a lot better this time. And I'm just thinking to myself, I played the exact same set list. Like,
so let's talk about this. In addition to DougKaetzMusic.com, you also have a band from the Dark River Band. How did where did that come from? How did that corroboration happen? Is that your band, or did you join them?
No, that's from the Dark River. Is if you look up what Doug means, and it's some kind of like Nordic meaning. It's like from the dark water, from the dark river, from the dark something. If you like trace the name back. So anyways, that's actually a band name I'm trying to retire, because more people know Doug Kaetz than anything.
Sure.
From my solo stuff. But yeah, that's where that came from. That's what Doug means.
Right. I thought there was a deeper story there. Okay. Yep. The second clip I want to show is it looks like a bar gig. I'm going to talk about this kind of a venue. Check this out.
Rivers of Babylon, where he sat down, and they wept when he remembered Zion. For the wicked carry us away captivity, required from us a song. Oh, how can we sing the Alpha song in a strange? Rivers of Babylon, where he sat down, and there he wept when he remembered Zion. Oh, for the wicked carry us away captivity, required from us a song. Oh,
Okay.
That's an
The
old one.
ever popular bar gig.
Yeah.
Let's talk about playing to a bunch of drunks. Difficult thing to do, or do most people that are under the influence not really give a shit? And is it bothersome to you, someone who takes his music seriously?
No, because I'm very good at reading the room and
Okay.
seeing what works.
Sure.
And also I call it fishing. So like I'm throwing out classic rock, maybe some reggae, maybe some more modern, and I'm seeing what people turn their heads to, what they're gonna clap to, and then I'm like, okay, well then if they clap to this, let's go to this route, and then you figure it out, and it goes well. You know,
Doug, are you limited to the kind of music you can play being a solo guitarist?
no,
Okay, I'm asking for a very specific reason.
yeah,
Largely, the people that I've seen play the acoustic guitar, very few have electric accompaniment to them. You have a little bit of a different setup because you're highly synthesized.
yeah,
Yeah, and I want to talk to you about that. You're kind of like, you remind me of the old-fashioned one-man band.
yes,
And I mean that as a compliment.
thank you.
Because the guy who, and I'll be just very candid with you, the guy that preceded you
Yeah,
at the Madison the day before was quite stoic. He had a very limited range. He could only play acoustic.
yeah,
I asked him to play a particular song that I knew that he knew, and he couldn't pull it off.
yeah.
And is that problematic overall for you? Do you have an issue with that? Doing a song on request?
No, I do it all the time. I mean, like tonight at the mall, it's going to be, lots of requests. It's just, the only difficulty is if I don't know it at all. I can maybe fudge it a little bit if I kind of like have heard it before. But if I've never heard it before, there's no way. But like, usually I'm pretty good with that. And I have it set up right now, my iPad. So I have all my list.
Oh, that your set list.
So, this is the set list here. So I have everything is in design.
Oh, okay. So that's all the songs that you're going to do. They're all programmed.
And then this is the master list, and it goes on.
Oh, I got you. Oh, that's got everything on it.
So, and what's funny is that a lot of these older musicians, they're all like, these guys all have iPads. Why don't you just memorize the songs? And I'm like, it literally says right here, 894 songs. So you don't know out of that 894 which one someone's going to ask for.
Sure.
I can't memorize them all.
Oh my God, sure. Absolutely.
So it's more like it's also a professionalism thing too, just to have it ready to go instead of.
Absolutely, of course.
And if I'm connected to Wi-Fi, I could look it up too. So
yeah. Doug, we are going to take a hard break right now. We will be right back after this word.
Jess wanted to start a business when something surprising happened.
Today, I'm going to teach you how to crochet.
She started crocheting, like a lot. And her friends noticed.
Jess, you need to sell those.
So she signed up for Shopify and started building her business.
Yes, I love that.
And after a lot of hard work, this happened.
Oh my gosh, I just made my first sale!
You see, every day, hundreds of businesses get their first sale on Shopify.
We got ding!
And the next could be you. So when you're ready to bring your idea to life
And become your own boss.
build it on Shopify.
Do you have sweaty balls or volleyball netty balls? It's time to make them ready balls. The Manscaped.com Lawnmower 3.0 will do the job and clean your knob with its patented no-nick head, so your head will function as desired. Enter promo code Wrestling Future for a generous 20% discount. That's enter Wrestling Future for a 20% discount. Manscaped.com and Wrestling with the Future, going balls to the walls with Manscaped.com and the Lawnmower 3.0. Your balls will thank you, and so will we. WWTF 88.7 broadband radio station is live and global around the world. And today, lucky enough to talk to somebody I like. Doesn't happen often, but once in a while it does. Doug Kaetz at DougKatesMusic.com is my guest. Doug is a former teacher turned musician following his life's dream.
Yep.
You're a full-time musician.
Yeah.
Which means that you have to be responsible for your own gigs. Do you still get your own gigs, or you have like an agency working with you? How do you get your work?
Yeah. So I work with an agency. My main one is called Beat Gig.
Sure. Yeah.
And Beat Gig.
Beatgig.com, by the way, folks.
Yeah. I don't have the app on my iPad. It's on my phone, but that's what's cool about them is that they designed an app. Whereas a lot of other guys, it's through a lot of emails or texts or Facebook message. Mm-hmm. So I like them for the app. And I can just click on the app and I can see all the details, like what the address is, any specific details from the venue, payment. And payment is all direct deposit. So there is no collecting checks or cash at the end of the night.
Oh, wow.
So it's kind of nice in that regard.
That's different. Wow.
Yeah. So, and then also, like, if there needs to be an adjustment in pay, you know, they just, like, for example, if I'm asked to play another hour, they can just quick edit it and it's like good to go.
See, back in the days, Doug, there was a guy named Louie that used to come up to you and go, I think we're going to take our money and run tonight. Well, no, you have to play another hour. No, you don't understand. This is how we're going to do it. Okay. Those days are gone then, right?
Well, I think there's still some people that have that mentality, but
yeah, no neck Louie, right?
Yeah.
You have your guitar there. It would be absolutely a crime for me not to ask you to play something. What is your favorite song to play? I'm going to make you a happy camper. What is your favorite song to play?
So, well, I have prepared the song that I just released. I was going to play for you.
Do that. Absolutely. Yes, sir.
So
tell everybody what it is, and I'm going to bring you up on the big camera.
Yeah. So this song was written, checking my tuning. And undo the tuner. Sounds good. This song was written for a friend who passed away like 10 years ago. His name was Albert. He was a friend from college. He taught me. He was like a monster guitar player, and just like a really energetic, funny guy. But he taught me a lot. And, you know, he passed away unexpectedly. So I wrote this song for him. And it hasn't been recorded until this year. And I went in the studio up here in Stroudsburg with Dan Malsh at Sound Mind Studios. And it was the first fully produced original song that I've ever done. So that means, you know, we did acoustics left and right. We did electrics, bass. We did he just got not a full grand, a half grand. I don't know. Anyways, a real piano in the studio. So I had my friend Patrick come and lay down some piano. And then my friend Aaron came in and did drums. And what's cool about it is because Aaron also knew my friend Albert, and we all went to Moravian. And Patrick's also a Moravian graduate. So the whole song is Moravian Moravian.
And what is the song titled?
This song is called "Wait Another Day." So,
All right. Ladies and gentlemen, Doug Kaetz, Wait Another Day. It's an original song. You got it, brother.
All right. It is 9:40 in the morning.
We are aware of that. Yes, sir.
But when you're watching this, it would be evening. So it's just funny for musicians to sing this early. Also to be
I
up.
know, right?
But it's okay. All right, let's see. My brother, my other, why do we feel the same? Underneath these strings, something got in me. Are you in my hands? I keep hearing things. Are you whispering melodies in my ear? I feel so warm above. Do I feel your love? Nothing will be the same. Why don't you stay? Why don't you wait? Wait another day. I break down within your sound, tears build up in me. Alone with my guitar, my heart is so heavy. If you need a piece, take it now. My love is full and plenty. When you need a shoulder to cry upon, I'm here saying loud, why don't you stay? Why don't you wait? Wait another day. One day I'll see you. One day I'll meet with you in heaven. It's been sad here. In darkest hour I return to the memory of you, a younger man's view. Time could only find a way. Why don't you stay? Why don't you wait? Wait another day. Why don't you stay? Why don't you wait? Wait another day. I like those chords.
Beautiful. That was a beautiful song, brother. Great song. Out and you know what? 9 a.m. in the morning. Guess what? 9:45 in the morning.
Yeah,
You're sounding great.
gotta warm up.
Really sounding great.
Yeah, it's usually in my long drives. I'm always warming up before I get to the gig. But
I was
all
going to ask
good.
you about vocalizing. What do you do to vocalize? I know a number of singers who do singers, particularly guys who make their living with their voice, are particularly quirky when it comes to vocalizing. I know one guy that spends 20 minutes making chirping noises as his way of vocal. I'm not even kidding you. I'm not, and he's a very well-known artist.
No,
What do you do? How do you initiate your vocalization?
so you can do so lip twirls are really good.
There you go.
Because the lip twirls, they also loosen like everything up in here, you know.
Oh,
So
sure.
so you do that. You can do half step. So
Yeah, absolutely.
now it's fun to do that too because you have the guitar. So I'm also warming up my fingers on my guitar too while I'm doing that.
I noticed that.
So, anyways,
The
that
coordination between the fingers and the lips, it's got to be very difficult. I showed you before we went on the air. I have two guitars. I have an acoustic guitar and a beautiful Spanish guitar. I don't play either of them.
you can point it down.
I have this theory that people with fat fingers like myself can't play.
Yeah.
Okay. True or false? Is it possible for fudgy fingers here to play?
So, I mean, they make different sized necks on all guitars or different. It depends on, the guitar could actually help you a lot. Like, I mean, you should have tried my guitar when I saw you last, but it is possible, but you're right. Having bigger fingers, I think your fingers would be good for piano. You know what I mean?
It's fun because I play a little piano.
Yeah.
My mother played piano. Yep. My mother played piano. She'll be 89 on Thursday of this week.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. 89.
So, no.
But she grew up playing piano. And it's funny because my late father, was an accordionist. He played the accordion, which was also a keyboard.
Yeah.
Kind of thing. And my father was the most uncoordinated guy in the world, but he could do that accordion shit. Now you don't even see accordions anymore. I don't even know if they still make them things.
You gotta go to polka, find a polka spot. But
They still do. Is polka still?
Yeah, I know. Actually, I know a guy who does I know a drummer. His name's Dave Betts. He plays accordion in a polka band.
No shit, for real.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Wow, I thought polka was like way old school.
No.
Wow,
it's thriving.
I'll tell you what, brother. This was a fast hour. It really was. Let me tell everybody what's coming up tonight. First of all, if you missed Doug Kaetz, you will see him again Thursday night on a special encore presentation. We will broadcast that again on our radio and visual outlets, Tubi TV, Roku, Amazon Prime, any number of, you name it, we're there. More than 3,000 platforms around the world. We are number 17 right now on Podbean. We've got, and thank you for this one, folks. We broke the 9 million mark on Spotify. Thank you so much for that. That brings our total worldwide subscribers to 13,400,000 and rising. And I'm grateful for that. Thank you so much. Tonight on the show to help us celebrate is Mark Sotkin. He is the writer, producer, and director of The Golden Girls, Blansky's Beauties, The Golden Palace, It's a Living, Laverne and Shirley, and a number of your favorite television programs from around the world. Mark is also the author of Everything About It Is Appealing. That's his podcast, and written a couple of books, The Comatose Adventures of Lenny Rose, Kinda Dirty Paris Confessions, and With Time Off for Bad Behavior. He will talk more about these tonight at 7 p.m. Eastern, right here on What's the Buzz, America's Best Podcast. But until then, I have to say goodbye and good luck tonight break a leg.
Yeah.
Doug Kaetz, you can find him at DougKaetzMusic.com and Facebook.com/From the Dark River Band. Do me a favor and tell everyone out there, Doug, where they can find you, what gigs you got coming up, where they can see you play, promote all your socials.
All right. Well, it's at Doug Kaetz _music on Instagram, TikTok. You can type in Doug Kaetz into Spotify, Apple Music, all your major streaming platforms. So the song I just played, Wait Another Day, is out now. Very happy with the way it came out. It's a full band mix, and then there's a second version, just acoustics and piano. It's awesome. It would mean a lot if you go out, check it out, listen to it. There's more original music coming out, so you can follow me on all those major streaming platforms. And yeah, you can see me today in Cape May at the mall. I'll be Ocean City, Maryland is on Wednesday at Coconuts. Thursday, I'll be at the Club at Diamond Beach in Wildwood. Friday, I'll be at the Mantaloking Ale House, which is in North Jersey. Saturday, I don't remember. I'll be at
someone wants to book you, how do they book Doug Kaetz?
You can email me or message me on all the socials. You can go to my web. You can go to my website, DougKaetzMusic.com, and I have there's a button. You can hit the button, contact.
And on that note, for Doug Kaetz, I am the Mad Dog. Join me tonight at 7 p.m. with the Pit Bull. We got a regular dog pound around here. The Mad Dog and the Pit Bull at 7 p.m. on What's the Buzz, America's Best Podcast. Till we see you, may God bless you. We'll see you later, folks. Bye-bye.